Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out here. We should start by saying, let's go Mets. And the Queen's DA, you know? So let's go Mets. We wish our team all the luck in the world. Thank you for being here today. I want to thank Susan Jacob, the Executive Director of the Queens Family Justice Center, part of the Mayor's Office to End Domestic Violence and Gender-Based Violence. Thank you also to Jessica Reese of the Canine Companions for her partnership with their partnership as we look forward to continuing that partnership for many years. And of course, this is the dedicated month dedicated to domestic violence survivors and making sure that people are aware of the services available and how we combat domestic violence every single day. I want to thank the many prosecutors from my office who work with families and victims every day and make sure that we not only build a case against those that would abuse people, but also that we give them the services and the infrastructure of support that is needed as they go through the process of survival. So I want to thank the many prosecutors that are here. It has been a real pleasure and a privilege to work alongside all of you that work for the people of the city every day. Standing today with me are Mary Kate Quinn, Chief of Domestic Violence. We have Detective Investigator we call her Dionysia McAuliffe, and one of our newest employees, Kimmy, our facility dog. There we go. Kimmy's very excited about what's going on right now. As the DA, we have prioritized prosecuting those criminals who would wreak havoc in our neighborhoods through their malicious actions. But at the same time, I've been keenly focused on providing compassionate support to victims, to their families, as they navigate the aftermath of tragic and traumatic events. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as you know, and it presents an opportunity for us to come out and talk about and highlight the resources that are available to those that are being abused in their homes, who sometimes feel isolated, who need to know that they have the support and the infrastructure from government and from prosecutors and from law enforcement as they go through the process of not only holding those individuals accountable who are responsible for their abuse, but also to move on and survive and take care of their families. And my Domestic Violence Bureau is dedicated to the investigation and prosecution of all intimate partner violence. And this can include many things. This can include assault and harassment and violations of order protections and stalking and more. And we work closely with the court system and our law enforcement partners to hold perpetrators accountable to that. But at the same time, as I said, we need to make sure that survivors have meaningful services that will empower them to reclaim their lives. Sadly, we know that DV is drastically underreported. Too often, there's isolation, and who's going to stick up for me? And who's going to be there for me? And how do I go and tell my story about what's been happening in my family and make sure that people believe me and know that I am looking for the help that I need to move on? So we have created a domestic violence hotline, just so everybody knows and is fully aware. It's been a few years now since COVID. 718-286-4410, 286-4410. You can call that line anytime, 24/7. You can ask for services, or you can ask for a prosecutor. And we will do both. My office is here to help. It can be very hard for survivors of violence, particularly vulnerable children and survivors, to tell their story. It's even tougher in an intimidating setting like the courthouse. Walking into a prosecutor's office, talking to detectives in a police precinct. It is a very intimidating process at times. So we thought outside the box, and we contacted Canine Companions program, and they have been incredibly successful in what they do with some of our district attorney colleagues throughout the state. These compassionate canines not only provide comfort and championship and companionship, but they also embody our office's commitment to victims. Make no mistake, the more supported and comfortable victims feel about telling their story, it's a feeling of support, it's a feeling of companionship, it's a feeling that the office cares deeply about their future. It's also a better prosecution. And so it has several reasons, there are several reasons to have the comfort of a victim or a witness be supported. Accountability and support, two very important necessities to combat DV and child abuse. In August, we were very fortunate to welcome Kimmy to our staff, who's getting tired and seems like she needs a nap. Kimmy is a Labrador and a Golden Retriever mix. She was born on August 22nd, 2022 at the Canine Companions headquarters in California. For the first 18 months of her life, she was raised by Pastor Christopher Cashin and his family in Maryland. She received basic training and was exposed and socialized to all types of environment and people. Kimmy then received an intensive 6 months of training at the Canine Companions Northeast headquarters on Long Island, where she worked with professional instructors and learned more than 40 advanced commands. This program is highly selective, and dogs have to match their handlers. We were ecstatic when we learned that Kimmy matched with detective investigator Dee McAuliffe, better known as Dee. Sorry, your name is here and the nickname. Dee and Kimmy underwent a further 2 weeks of training together as a team. We're already seeing a positive impact as the result of their partnership. Kimmy has already assisted 4 victims and witnesses in a child abuse case, the assault of a 15-year-old boy, and the assault of an elderly man. She's already been there. She's already assisted. She's already earned her badge. Enhancing public safety goes far beyond investigations and prosecutions of criminal when pursuing justice. With Kimmy in our office, to be there to help our victims, we will continue to implement proactive measures tailored to the unique needs of our communities, reinforcing our dedication to protecting the people of this borough. Everybody's needs are different when it comes to crime and when it comes to being a victim. Kimmy is a great choice when it comes to those that need further comfort and are comforted by the presence of a dog and a pet. So we want to thank Dee and we want to thank Kimmy. Next we have our Executive Director, Susan Jacobs. She is the Director of the Family Justice Center, usually the first stop with survivors.
Good morning, everyone. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Queens District Attorney's Office, Melinda Katz, who is a true champion for all crime victims, and to Canine Companions. We are so pleased to welcome our new colleague, Kimmy, who I know will uplift survivors and their children, bringing comfort and support during their healing journey. This incredible partnership will make a significant impact on those who've experienced trauma and violence, especially as we come together for Domestic Violence Awareness Month to honor the strength and resiliency of all survivors, the ones that have unfortunately gone because of domestic violence and the survivors who are here with us today. The Family Justice Center, we are located in every single borough. Anyone can call 311 to find their local FJCs, and all services are free and confidential. And domestic and gender-based violence can include sexual violence, human trafficking, stalking, and intimate partner violence. All centers are available regardless of immigration status, income, gender identity. So anyone is welcome to walk into any Family Justice Center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Again, the number is 311, or they can call the city's domestic violence hotline at 1-800-621-HOPE. And just to tell you a little bit about the services that are offered here is case management, economic empowerment, counseling, children's counseling services, adult counseling. But one of the most important things that we offer here at the Queens Family Justice Center is resources. Many of our survivors don't know what is available for them, and we practice a non-judgmental, client-centered practice where they can come in, because clients, especially survivors, they don't have options. So this place offers options and resources that they would not have known that they have. So it's a truly remarkable space where we have this collaborative model. We work with incredible partners like the DA's office, our NYPD partners here, our multiple different agencies here at the QFJC. Queens FJC is very unique. It has over 74% of our clients are foreign born. So having culturally specific and linguistically appropriate services is vital for Queens Family Justice Center. So a few of our agencies, we have a total of 22 agencies. A few of our culturally appropriate agencies are Arab American Family Support Center, Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty, and a few more as well, but we all work in collaboration with each other. And the most important thing with regard to resources, we also safety plan and risk assess. And it's so valuable when clients come in, survivors come in, and they just have someone to listen to them. That is the first step, where they feel empowered. And before I close, I just want to take a moment to honor all the survivors of domestic and gender-based violence. And I want everyone to know that survivors are not alone. There is hope and there is a place. So please come to the Family Justice Center. Thank you so much.
I do want to take a second and acknowledge, I didn't realize, Chief Nyberg. Chief Assistant Jennifer Nyberg was a great advocate of this program to make sure that people felt at ease coming to us with their stories and making sure that there was a pet, a dog that is friendly, tired, and available for the ease in the transition of a prosecution as well as moving on. So thank you. Jessica Reese, Canine Companions Client Services Program Manager. I got to tell you, they're tough. They are tough to make sure that the companion pets are with good handlers, good offices, that they are well trained, and that it is the right environment for this pet to be in. And they make you go through a lot in order to do it. And I am so grateful that they do, because it found us Dee. It got us a great companion pet. And I want to thank them for the services that they are doing for New Yorkers.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jessica Reese, Client Services Manager for Canine Companions. I want to thank Melinda Katz and the Queens District Attorney's Office for having us here this morning. It's a personal pleasure for me to be here. I grew up a mile from this office, and I spent most of my young adult career working with the underserved communities in Queens. So knowing that Kimmy is here now to serve warms my heart for sure. Just to tell you a little bit about Kimmy, Kimmy is a facility dog, and she joins the ranks of facility dog Lewis, who works for the Westchester County's DAs. She joins Mega, who worked for the Nassau County, and Tillman, who works for Suffolk County, as well as our first facility dog for a district attorney's office, which was in Staten Island. So she's in good partnership with all the other working dogs that we have out there. Some of the things that make Kimmy special is, like said earlier, Kimmy knows over 40 commands. So the difference between Kimmy and being a facility dog versus a therapy dog is, I like to say Kimmy is a dog with a master's degree, right? She's been through college. She is what I also call her a subject matter expert in what she does, right? So yes, she's sweet, and she's laying on my foot. She can feel that I'm a little bit nervous. And she's probably trying to provide me support. But she can also do things like pick up items off the floor, tug baskets, do commands like cover and nudge and visit and lap. And these are our sort of interactive commands. And one of the benefits of having a facility dog in this kind of environment is, the idea is to decriminalize the criminal justice system, right? Make people feel comfortable to come and talk about their stories and share what happened to someone they don't necessarily know. And Kimmy is non-judgmental. She's not going to judge them. She's not going to be upset if they cry. She's not going to be upset if they scream. She is there to make this experience, which is an unpleasant experience to begin with, so much better, right? And she's sort of that connection, that bridge to, the criminal justice system. Her job, can encompass all sorts of things, right? We do interviews, providing family support, and just generally being in the community, right? Being the face of the Queens District Attorney's Office, right? Who wouldn't want that face, right? Who wouldn't want Kimmy's face on the news and in the community? And people will start to say, oh, there's Kimmy from the Queens District Attorney's Office. So that's really important for the community to acknowledge. The other part of this is you're working with families and children who, are unsure. And Kimmy's sort of slew of skills will help bridge that gap. So we are super thrilled and super excited to see all the work that Kimmy and Dee are going to do. They worked very hard during those 2 weeks, and we wish them the best of luck. And we are here to help them along the way. Dee is responsible for checking in with me every month for the next 6 months. So, I haven't wished her on her way just yet. And we're thrilled to see the things that Kimmy is going to do moving forward. So thank you.
Thank you. So any questions? Kimmy would be happy to answer them as the face of the DA's office. Yes, sir, Kevin.
The other dogs that have been doing this, what kind of success rates are you seeing?
I would have to turn that over to the companions. I would only say this with a preamble, which is that I think it is hard to determine from a statistical perspective the success rates. But at the end of the day, anytime a victim or a witness or someone who's about to testify in the grand jury or someone who has to tell their story for the first time has the amount of comfort that is needed from this companion pet, I think that is a great thing. And it's a bonus for the families. It makes the prosecution better. It makes the survivors be able to move on better. It lets them tell their story with a great deal more comfort. But if you can put that into a statistical analysis, I don't know.
Literally what I was going to say.
Okay, sorry.
If we've served one person,
Right.
and that person has been successful, then
I should have asked the question a little bit better. I shouldn't have said statistics. What I meant to say was, could you tell us about some of the successes you've seen with the other dogs that you provided, the other boroughs and the other departments?
I will leave that to the companions.
Sure, absolutely. So, I want to say that the stories are all the same, right? So Lewis and Bronx and Mega and Tillman have all been involved in harder cases where, you couldn't get the child to reveal exactly what was going on, and they brought the dog in, and all of a sudden everything started to flow, right? So one, it was cathartic for the individual, it helped the case, it helped the prosecution. So anything that's going to put the people who have done the bad things where they need to be, and the dog has helped with that, that's the success, right? I mean, there have been some studies done, like we have a facility dog that worked in Virginia, and they tallied how many kids they saw for that year. You're talking about like 343 interviews in 1 year that potentially helped to put the people behind bars that needed to be behind bars. So I feel like those are the successes, and I'm sure Kimmy will have many stories like that. But, statistics is hard, because this is really qualitative versus quantitative.
And like I said, Kimmy's been with us a few weeks now and has already been helpful in looking for the cases. But with a teenager and with several young people as well who were here to tell their stories, to get accountability, and to get services and help.
I'm going to be upstaged by a dog.
If I'm going to be upstaged by someone, she's not bad.
How do you determine when to bring her in?
So we had, the chief here had the idea for many years. Like I said, there is a lot of training and a lot of standards by which the office had to pass and go through and everything, and also to find a dog that was compatible with our trainer, with our handler. So there's a lot that went on between then and now. I think that we are always looking in this office for how to make it easier for people to tell their stories. And I know this is a great story for a time when the world is facing many challenges. And I think that we are doing this story with the idea in mind that this really is about thinking outside the box for those victims that feel as if they need support and that don't always feel like that from government and from prosecutions. And so we need to make sure that we think outside the box every single day for the comfort level and for the partnership that comes with people testifying, having their families sometimes disrupted, and having good prosecutions that we can hold people accountable for.
Are you keeping her indefinitely, or is it 6 months?
No, no, no. The 6 months. So in order to make sure that our pets, that the pets, companion pets, right? Is that? So in order to make sure, and tell me when I'm wrong, that the companion pets are in a good environment, because we care deeply about our victims and survivors, but we also want to make sure that our companions here are well taken care of as well. The group comes in and does an analysis, I assume, every month, and to make sure that it's working. And then after 6 months, we get to keep her?
Yeah, she's on loan for the next 10 to 12 years.
Okay. So I think that there has to be some sort of checks and balances on making sure that Kimmy is happy and that it's working for the office as well.
So is this official, confirmation that dogs are better than cats? Because there are no cat support animals, right? This is just, dogs are officially by the government saying that dogs are better than cats, right?
This is an official statement by the government that Kimmy is a perfect match for us. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.